on Carlton, a programme to celebrate the first 20 years of Central News, from the present day all the way back to IATV.
We had a ridiculous laugh making ATV Today and Central News. I mean, I don't know how some of it went out.
It really was us against the world in those days.
Does it feel like 20 years? No, it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. It's gone by in a flash.
On New Year's Day 1982, a star was born. Well, more of a globe, really. Overnight, ATV became Central, and its flagship news programme became Central News. This is the story of those early days, of what's happened since, and of the people that have brought you 20 years of Central News.
Going ahead now in 15 seconds.
15 seconds.
Stand by one.
Our story starts in black and white. It was in 1956 that Lou Grade's Associated Television started broadcasting to the Midlands from studios at Aston in Birmingham.
On camera
0,
one.
1, 2.
Mixer two.
On
Cue
2.
back.
A Midlands News cameraman was at the scene within minutes of the Pullman Express crash at Nolan Dorridge this afternoon.
In those days, stories were shot using clockwork cameras on film stock destined for weddings.
And what made you live up a tree, for goodness sake?
I mean, what happens when he gets playful?
This time, the inventor didn't leave the ground. Mr. MacDonald explained that he wasn't making an attempt on the record. He said it was only a demonstration of how the machine worked.
And that's all from Midlands News for today.
4, 3, 2, 1.
In 1969, ATV moved to Broad Street in Birmingham and a new site built for colour transmission. This was where our predecessor, ATV Today, was made.
You've upset him now, haven't you? Now, just you say he's got...
It was as much knockabout as news, not surprisingly perhaps for an empire founded on light entertainment. During the 1970s, ATV Today brought a family of people to our screens every night, the team that later became Central News.
It looks peaceful enough now, but...
A fresh-faced presenter from Walsall called Bob Warman, Nick Owen and Anne Diamond.
This, I promise you, could only happen in Britain.
Roving reporter John Swallow.
Sugar and spice and all things nice.
And the positively anarchic Chris Tarrant.
So what on earth happened to this one here? She's called...
I mean, I just drifted into it. I mean, I really did drift in. I just sort of turned up, you know, sort of off the bus. I wrote them this ridiculous letter, and I think I just caught them in a good mood. And it was like, you know, can you use a typewriter? You know, yeah. Can you drive a car? Have you got a clean licence? Yeah. Okay, you start Monday. We'll give you a week's work.
I must admit, I've never had a lot of time for trout. They always seem to me rather silly, spotty creatures.
I mean, I started trying to be, I think, like every sort of ITN journalist, you know, that I'd ever seen. You know, I used to I'm standing here at the gates of Longbridge and all this stuff, but I wasn't very good. I mean, I really wasn't very good.
Oh dear.
And slowly they realised, actually I say slowly, actually very quickly, they realised and I realised I wasn't a lot of good. But I was quite good with people, you know, and particularly people who are ever so slightly potty.
Yes, this is the tough bit now. The Butchers are clear leaders, but still no sign of the ATV team.
ATV Today commanded huge audiences, but its days were numbered. The government's TV watchdog decided that whoever held the Midlands franchise should be more Midlands-based with more Midlands programming. It also wanted the region split to give the East Midlands its own news service. In 1980, ATV got the licence back after agreeing to all that, plus a change of name.
The change was dramatic. The company paid some management consultants a huge fee to come along and rebrand the company. But also, the most noticeable thing was that they just painted the building, and they did it over one weekend. So we went home on Friday, and it was ATV. We arrived on Monday morning, and it was Central.
Give us a C! C! Give us an E! E! Give us an N!
So, ladies and gentlemen, the toast is Central News.
There was a sort of fairly spectacular Central News, the first one, but apart from the moon, that was the new shape of and the colours of Central, the globe thing, there wasn't any difference really. It was the same stuff, just different name. Jasper, an old mate of mine, I know you're delighted to come in to wish the Central sports team all the very best.
Yep.
Well, you know, how do you think it'll go?
Oh, quite well.
Is that all?
Well, depends, doesn't it, really?
Well,
I think you'll do very well.
well, pardon, sorry, how old do you think?
Exceptionally well, Gary. I think Central TV will do exceptionally well.
Only one thing dampened the party atmosphere. It was that night's top story.
When Sir Brian Young of the Independent Broadcasting Authority cut a piece of videotape, Central's East Midland building was officially open, but not the studios inside. Underneath the switched-off studio lights, VIPs watched the opening on closed-circuit TV, the only pictures from Giltbrook today.
These were the heady days when the unions could take a station off air, and did. Electricians had blacked the new East programme in a row over money, a dispute which went on for nearly 2 years. News was gathered, programmes put together and rehearsed, but none of it saw the light of day, including the young duo lined up to front the show.
We were very honoured to be the King and Queen of Nottingham and then get there and find that there was absolutely no way to broadcast to anybody, because the first programme never went on air, and neither did the next one or the next one or the next one or the next one. We were sort of Queen and King Bee of absolutely nothing.
Yeah, well, the opening day had all the dignitaries from all round the East Midlands ready for the big event. They even cut a tape, I think.
Yes, we did.
In the middle of the afternoon, we were told, sorry, we can't broadcast because there was a union dispute.
And we got the programme ready to go. I mean, everybody, all the reporters have been out filming pieces, mostly about how the region was looking forward to having its own service, and we were really excited. So we thought, we had a little meeting, we thought, well, we'll still do the programme anyway, even if it doesn't go out to anybody but the building. And it did. It was broadcast throughout the building, but that's all. It was
35 people thought it was a great programme.
It was a great programme.
It took a while for viewers to warm to the change from ATV. Many weren't sure what the Globe was, while others complained that Central sounded more like a railway company.
There was a lot of antipathy to change. People don't like change. Even now, 20 years later, people still come up to me in the street and say, "Hello, Bob, ATV today." It's over 20 years ago.
OK, Sir Frederick of Flawford, Biddlecombe, whatever you're called, you've been asking for this, and by golly, you're going to get it. What's that?
For a time, Central News kept with the ATV Today philosophy of entertainment first and not too much serious stuff. But things were about to change.
This is Chris Tarrant.
And Terry Biddlecombe.
From Beaver Castle for the Friday 6 o'clock show.
Here's Chris.
There was a period where I was still doing the news programme, you know, every night live at 6, and sometimes doing quite heavy stories and, you know, good evening, rumours are coming in of a bus crash in the Wolverhampton area or whatever. And then Saturday morning I'd be sitting there with a bucket on my head and beans going down my trousers.
Saturday.
And it started to get mentioned more and more about the credibility gap, and really and truly we can't have you trying to be, you know, very serious and, you know, communicating very important information Monday to Friday and then behaving like a complete lunatic on a Saturday. And in the end it was like, you know, do you choose between the bus crash and the bucket? And it was like, I think it's the bucket for me.
I suppose at the beginning of the 80s it was quite a frivolous time still, and I remember one of the last programmes we did during those frivolous times, we actually had a baby hippopotamus on the desk. I mean, this wasn't some model, it was a real baby hippopotamus leaking at both ends over the script on the desk. But it was riveting television, it was terrific. Now, a new regime swept in with a new producer and new editor, and they came in rather like the sort of television Taliban, and they got rid of all that. I mean, it went terribly serious, so that it was wall-to-wall news from the hospital wards and from the police stations, and it went very, very serious.
The Nottingham-based programme finally got serious nearly 2 years after it was supposed to, and without either Anne Diamond or Nick Owen.
And a very good evening. Welcome to the first Central News for the East Midlands.
Very soon, the team found itself covering one of the biggest news stories ever to hit the Midlands.
keep them peeled.